Welcome to the Union Labor Advisory Network podcast, where our mission is to support, educate, and promote informative content relative to the union labor community. For more information, a calendar of events, and union news and updates, you can visit our website, ulanetwork.com, and follow us on all social media platforms by searching ULA Network and/or the Union Labor Advisory Network. And now, on to the show.
Well, hello friends and welcome to the Union Labor Advisory Network. I'm Mike Fina. Today I'm extremely proud and privileged to be amongst a great labor leader today, Arthur Cheliotes from CWA Local 1180 at tonight's event, the Association of Benefit Administrators annual gala, in which Arthur was an honoree tonight, the honoree. Arthur, thank you for being here today. Again, a pleasure to be amongst your presence, and growing up in my career, you've been inspirational to me. I know that from the first time I started, we took a meeting, you had me come into your office, you gave me a book to read, learn about labor, and I'll never forget it. But for amongst the viewers today, if you could just give your history, a little bit more about what you do, what you're all about, and how you're inspiring others in the labor market.
Well, if you want to get started early on, I'm the son of an undocumented alien. He came to this country because he didn't want to serve in the Greek army, and his father sent him to the United States. And he couldn't get in because of the Immigration Act of 1924, which considered Southern Europeans to be undesirables. But he came anyway. And he served in the Second World War, helped defeat the Germans in the Second World War. And he came back, and my mother was a refugee from Greece following the Nazi occupation. And they started a family. And I was the first one. And I grew up in a great community, Jamaica, Queens, where I had the benefit of a good public education. That when we needed to see a doctor, we could go to the health department and get a doctor to look us over. I had an opportunity to get a free college education at the City University of New York, Queens College. And those things prepared me for a life understanding that my first goal in life is to help people. I took a civil service test, eventually became a supervisor in the welfare center, and ran for union office, became a steward, get on staff, and eventually became the president of the local. And being president of the local, one of the things that I learned early on is you have to always have the pulse of the members. And the pulse of the members is they need help. They're struggling, they have a tough time getting by. And that meant we had to help them wherever we could. Of course, we could offer the eyeglass benefits, the dental benefits, the disability benefits that weren't covered by the city's health plans. But beyond that, we wanted to make sure that they also could advance in their life, so we started a legal benefits plan. We copied that from another union, Local 371. We saw our retirees were leaving us and we were losing touch with them. So we started a retiree program for our retirees, following what Local 237, the Teamsters, had done. And we grew our programs, and we listened to what people had to offer. We listened to the benefits that other unions were offering. And we were able to modify our benefits to be in touch with those that others had. And so it became a very kind of symbiotic relationship. We worked together with other unions. That's what's good about this organization. You have the benefit administrators coming together to discuss what benefit programs they have, what trouble they're having in those programs. And as I mentioned earlier in my speech, the big problem facing our members today is affordable housing. We have a great deal of our members are paying over 40% of their monthly income for rent, the gross, 40% of the gross.
Wow.
It doesn't leave much for anything else.
No.
Not to save for retirement, not to create a college fund for your kids, not to feed your kids.
The ULA Network would like to thank our sponsor, General Vision Services, for their support in helping to educate and promote union labor and our communities.
And so I think one of the challenges that we have, and it is acknowledged as a national challenge, is to look at ways that we can invest our pension money and make a good return on our pension money while we're housing our own members. And there are federal programs out there that allow us to do that, and we need to be involved in it. We need to find ways to coordinate that, and I think that there are programs out there that we can use to do that. The other thing that's important to me is preparing the next generation of labor leaders. One of the things I've been involved with very closely is the City University School of Labor and Urban Studies. Why? Because this is a complex world. If we want to train the next generation of union leaders, they need to understand it. They need to understand the dynamics at play politically, socially, economically. And they need to have the tools to do that. And we also need to make sure, and we have a diversity scholarship program, it brings women and minorities into the school, helps pay for their bachelor's degrees and their master's degrees, to give them the tools that they need to lead their unions that would be a reflection of the membership. My local was predominantly female and minority. And it was not until I retired that a female woman, a black female woman, took over this union and has run it in an excellent manner and is doing a great job. And I think that's part of what I needed to do and what all of us need to do if we want to be ready for the struggles we want to face in the future. Because we're in for a fight. As I said before, it is the labor movement that's the foundation upon which commerce, industry, and civil society is built. If we don't have people who are productive and who earn a decent living so they can spend their money in the economy, we have no economy.
That's right.
And so you have to make sure that we create the jobs, that we put in the programs, and that we assure that people have those opportunities to advance themselves. And so that's the stuff that I've been doing. I've kind of long-winded, but I wanted to cover from the time I was born, from the time I was conceived,
to where you are today.
To where I am today.
And again, today is, we are celebrating your career,
Well, thank you.
all you've done for labor. And as we talked about that, and what you brought up as well, the Association of Benefit Administrators is a great organization to bring together a lot of fund administrators and labor leaders to discuss these particular topics, as well as bring in vendors that help support labor as well, because we all play a small role collectively to help support the membership. So Arthur, I want to thank you again for all you do for labor, for taking the time to sit down with me today. I want to again congratulate you on your recent honoree with the Association of Benefit Administrators. We'll actually show the plaque that was brought to the and Arthur was honored today with. So here, we'll hand this over to you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay.
And again, I can't thank you enough for all that you do for labor and what you've done for me over my career. I appreciate it, and look forward to working with you in the future as well. So thank you, and appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Union Labor Advisory Network. To stay in the loop, we ask that you please visit our website, ulanetwork.com, and sign up for our newsletter, where we're sending updates relative to the union labor community directly to your inbox. Thank you for supporting labor, and we'll see you next time.